Good morning, welcome to a morning outlook. This is Kim speaking on Tuesday the 1st of August. So what we've got in store today then, let's have a quick look. We've already had the Australian data released, and the interest rate was not increased as expected. It stayed still. Let's just update this. There we go. So interest rates was left on pause once again. So let's see, markets seem a bit damp on it really, because it's moved about 50 pips down. I guess you would have expected something more to come off there, but anyway, that was it. It might sell off during the Asian session, during the London session, European session. We'll see. What else was there yesterday? Data coming out later at 10 o'clock. Yeah, the core inflation flash estimates for Europe was slightly ahead of expectation there. Didn't really move the market that much at all. So looking forward to today. Well, the statement should have been released, so that will be out. It has been released. We've then got this afternoon, then 3 o'clock, ISM manufacturing PMI. Might get a blip around that, and the prices, job openings. There's quite a bit of data about 3 o'clock there, which might give more of a blip than anything else. It's not a game changer or a showstopper. And then 11:45, we've got the this evening we've got the New Zealand employment data, which for the New Zealand dollar might create a bit of volatility, but not much else. Tomorrow we've only got the ADPs, that's it. Speakers wise, let's just have a look. Have we got any speakers? There's no the Fed speaker at 3 o'clock this afternoon as well, so there is a bit there. On here I've got a bit more data. I've got the German unemployment. I've got some German data coming out there earlier. So there is a bit of other data that French manufacturing PMI at 10.2. They're not big movers, but anyway, we do have some other European data out this morning around 9. Right, let's get on and look at these markets then, and we'll start off with looking of course at the euro dollar. And well, I have to look at this a few times to try and work out what's going on here. It's still, well, it's consolidating effectively where it is. It's yesterday it spent most of its time going sideward. We've had a drift outwards, a drift off from that, but you can see yesterday it dropped, popped and dropped again. Pretty much low volatility. Daily pivot above. He says he's sort of resigned to the fact that this could be another one of those days. Maybe a potential sell into that at the moment. I'm still erring towards that sort of bearish side for the euro. The pound, no difference here either. It's yesterday very tight range for the whole day there. Barely moved out of range. Ugly day. We've not seen days like this for a while. Quite as ugly as this anyway. Normally see a drift in the afternoon. It did break the lows there, but never closed below, and that was that. So never triggered me into a trade, but triggered my indicator, my alerts. Anyway, today, well, if it does break down the S1 before it hits the pivot, well, S2's on. Maybe still these lows, but we need something out there to juice these markets up a little bit. Get them back off their holidays, that's what I say. Anyway, dollar yen. Here's one I looked at yesterday, just couldn't get into. It's just not playing ball at all. It did break the high here and gives a higher low yesterday, and well, it's not really the nicest shape. There's a bit of divergence running off the 60 minutes, across the 60 minutes off here. We've got an untouched daily pivot below. It's gone a bit last few hours, it's gone a bit sideward. It slowed down mostly yesterday. Actually, I thought, yeah, 9 o'clock, leading into 9 o'clock, thought I really missed one here. Well, did, and then it just went pretty sideward. So not a great difference on there. It's not a great surprise to see the Aussie shifting off with the stall in the data this morning, but really just heading south. Now this might drift on some more. It's when I was doing my review on the sentiment, etc., the Aussie dollar, bit of a mixed bag overall. It's and that surprise might just see it drift off a little bit further. There's no suggestion that this is the end of interest rate increases, but it certainly slowed things down there for the Aussie. US dollar CAD, need I say any more? Chop, just really nothing there. New Zealand dollar, sorry, I should say in the Aussie US dollar CAD, you might get something off the very low time frames here. It has moved. It did actually sell the best yesterday, but really. Well, we've seen a full bounce since. You look at the bigger time frames and it's not really too much, but there's potential. We'll see what he does. Overall, I still have the feel like it's, well, I say feel, it's not a matter of feeling anything, it's just the data that's sort of sitting there is slightly more positive on the Canadian dollar. The big money's running back into it, so I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a reversal. New Zealand dollar, well, it did its lower high yesterday. It's gone with the Aussie to a degree this morning, but not really giving us a large movement. I was looking for this to come off yesterday from a lower point, but it just hasn't. Well, perhaps it will correct out now. S1 may be a reasonable opportunity, if not the previous lows there. If it continues, we'll see what it does this morning around this 50, but it is looking like it wants to head south. It was in that downward trend there. Swissy, well, Swissy continues to get a little bit more of a grip to the upside here. It's interesting, just as the big money started. The big money before was a bit bearish on the Swissy, so in other words, it should have been moving upwards because this is the US dollar Swissy, but nothing there. Now it's gone a little bit more bullish, and the market's moved up. Anyway, it's only fractional. Again, there's not a trade there for me as I'm looking at there might be a longer term swing, but it's still in a risky area. The euro yen, what a day. Yesterday did pitch up. It just ran out of momentum yesterday. It's looking like it's running out of momentum again this morning, struggling to get anywhere. There was its momentum, bit of divergence, it rolled over. Did trigger the lows between the two highs there. Might have seen a bit more come off, and it might still come off some more, but not looking the prettiest at this stage. It's the same old with a lot of these markets. We're seeing the Euro Aussie. I've been looking at this for, it seems like weeks, probably is now, to see if we can get a break of the highs, a little retrace to the high, and then a move. But it might, who knows, it might set up today at some stage later. I'm not necessarily needing it all done on the daily chart. I'm quite happy it's setting up on the lower time frames here. We have seen some buying coming out. Just wonder if this is all that's going to happen, whether it's run out of legs again. Likewise, I mean, for those that are not so convinced on it, I mean, I say those, anyone that we could be looking at a short again off of this range. It's been sitting in for such a time, but the more it's knocking on both sides, at some stage it's going to break. Euro CAD, well, ugly chop here. really the frequency of the retracements has increased recently. It's catching a bit of a bounce off the pivot area that I drew on here a long time ago. But maybe it's back on the rise for now, but it's about halfway. So maybe all we'll see is it just running that halfway and then trotting back again. Pound Aussie. Again, no surprise to see the pound Aussie pushing out, everything pushing against the Aussie this morning, but it's not as if the pound itself is particularly strong. It's sitting there against the dollar, fairly weak. If we was to start get some movements with the pound, perhaps the cross pairs with the pound, well, particularly the pound Aussie here, could move a little bit better, but we probably had a lot of the surprise priced in already. Pound CAD, well, again continues to chop sideways. Real summer markets that we're seeing here. Same old actually at the moment. It feels a bit like Groundhog Day looking at them. We could on this pound CAD get a reversal at some stage. Looking, it's if it was to reverse, I'm liking the downside. But it's saying that you look at it on a 4-hourly and daily and it's quite a mess. You could just end up with it caught in that zone. Pound yen, positive, good push up there, but again not really doing too much. The Aussie pairs, let's just have a quick look at Aussie CAD. This is selling off and might have some more legs. The CAD's had been holding on better, but the Aussie dollar might actually, just the Aussie US dollar might be a safer bet on that. Let's just looking at us back into the Aussie dollar. There's the Aussie CAD. The Aussie dollar's probably slightly better. Aussie New Zealand, we're heading southbound on this. This is all 4-hourly. It's found support into its S2. Sorry, just coming back to that Aussie CAD. May still have some legs in that. As I say, I think we've seen most of the move there. That's pretty much it for this morning. I'm not seeing much there at all, so just have a quick look at gold and the indices. So gold, well, it's just same old, same story, just chucking along here, not really going anywhere. Oil, waiting for another push up, maybe. We're just seeing a bit of a retrace on the lower time frames here. We'll just bring you down. There you go. There's your retrace on your 60-minute time frame. Yesterday, ugly as sin though. It just chopped all the way through there. Did manage to push up a little bit further. In fact, we did get up to that $82 area now. So we'll see what happens. But as I said, I think it might peter out a little bit now. We've got close to this sort of level. We'll see how it reacts. I much more liked it. I liked it a lot more when it was down here for the long side. Okay, that's crude. Let's go looking at the other markets then. CSI 300 takes a bit of a rock back a little bit. Not really interested in it too much. I just get asked to cover some of these markets. I don't trade them. The Nikkei, again, looking positive. It might come into something. So there's a little flag there at the moment. The Aussie 200, that would have been helped by the news there. It's certainly pitched back up a little bit. It's a bit spiky. If you look down to the there you go. There's the 530. Why have I got 530 and it's on an hourly bar? I don't know. But that's the weirdness of things. Okay, it's right. It runs on the half hour. That's why then. that was the news bar. So 6:30 bar. Right. Okay. It's a different time zone. Anyway, there was the spike of the news. Not really following through at this stage. U.S. markets still remain bullish to me. Yep, we are seeing a little blip down. Very small day yesterday. Very little day. Well, no surprise to see a small old. Well, no surprise to see a small old day yesterday, really not pushing too much, and today, well, it's taken the lows out here and put a lower high in, and not looking very pretty as we go at the moment. It's a little head and shouldery pattern that's kicked in across there, and so might see a little bit more downside. And finally, the FTSE. Oh goodness, are you serious? Anyway, there we go. On that note, catch you tomorrow, hopefully with a little bit more in the bag to be trading. Take care, have a good one. Bye for now.